Allison, you're an outfit repeater. Like, no, I just am thinking about all these books and I had some caffeine, so I'm like, let's do this. Let's make all of these videos at once, right? Why not? Why not take a crazy chance? That's my favorite Hilary Duff quote. I probably do say that once a day. Anyway, now I'm going to talk to you guys about this thing between us. And once again, I am going to verify the author's name because I get everything wrong. It's Gus Moreno. This, I know I just said in my last little video that Tell Me an Ending was my favorite book ever, or something like that. I said it was in my top 10. This is also in my top 10. I feel really lucky that I have managed to read so many fantastic books in such a short span of time. And I have been finding them. I don't remember how I found Tell Me an Ending. I think I was just kind of going through like science fiction books, but I found this thing between us when I was looking at like a list of like must reads for whatever year that it came out. Oh, and I did also, somebody said that it was a book that left them like sad and wanting more. And whenever someone tells me that something is really sad, I'm like, challenge accepted, because I have to say I almost never actually think that they're all that sad. But I want to. I would love to find something that makes me like, so this one was pretty, I don't know about like devastating, but it definitely is such a good look at grief, which made me hesitate to read it because I have lost people. They're dead. I don't know why people say we lost them. I know where they are. And that was, so I feel like I'm very acquainted with grief, and I usually find it kind of boring to read about because it's like I already know. But I decided to take a chance and read this anyway because I had seen so many good reviews about it. And when I say read it, I mean listen to, because it was the audiobook. And it was fantastic. Definitely one of the best books I've ever read. Made me really appreciate the time that I have with friends and partners, like people I care about, like, because everything is so fragile. Like, I feel like it's not a spoiler because I'm pretty sure it's in like the plot summary when you look at like the back of the book or whatever. But the narrator has recently lost his wife, and then it goes into like, how did she die? And I knew nothing about this book going in. And if you're watching this video now, you will know more than I did, but it was like a little bit horror and a little bit like kind of mythology type stuff, and then a little bit just like day in the life of a grieving husband or a grieving widower. And I really loved like the way he talked about, like, I feel like the narrator was kind of similar to me. Like, some people really need comfort, and I'm the kind of person who just wants to be left alone, and the narrator is like that too. And he was talking about how challenging it is to want to grieve that way when the people around you are people who just want to be there for you. And it's like, you can't be mad at them, but also it is annoying. And then just everything that happened, and like the mix of genres between just like realism and horror was so like addictive. Like, I could not stop listening to it. I loved it. I finished it, and it's true, like when it was over, I was so sad it was over. And I was like, this was another book that I was trying to find like similar to, but nothing is the same, you know, like, oh, it's just so fantastic. And it's kind of hard, I'm realizing, to recommend a book without spoiling it. But all I can say is, like, if you're looking for a book that gets into human relation and grief, and like, one quote that I really liked, I like was texting my friend about this. Like, we had this whole long discussion based on like a quote in the book. Let me just find it, actually. Let me like do this properly. Oh my god, I thought that I lost it, but I found it. Okay, so the quote is, "People cannot bear to think that there are channels of human experience that are closed off to them." Like, what? I've been trying to express, there are so many times where I try to express exactly that when talking about the frustrations that I feel, like, whether as a person of color, as a woman, and that because other people can't relate to them, they assume that I'm exaggerating. And it's hard to say it, and it's hard to say it calmly. And then that quote just like completely nails it. And in that moment, he's talking about grief, but it's applicable to so many other things. And that was pretty early in the book, so that's when I knew, like, oh, I'm totally gonna love this book. And I had, like, that's where I had texted my friend about it, and we were just like screaming over text about what a great quote that is. So yeah, like moments like that in the book, and then the story itself, the balance of things, I really liked it. So I think this is another book that everyone should read. I feel like it sounds kind of egotistical to say that because I read this book and liked it, everyone should read it, but genuinely, like, I think it was such a great story, and I can't think of a reason that someone wouldn't enjoy it. And I think this audiobook was only like 6 hours, and the author has or not the author, the narrator has like the perfect voice for it. He did such a good job. I don't remember his name, but it's fine. I'll find it later, maybe put it in the caption. Okay, but that is my last book video that I'm going to do today. And yeah, I've just been doing lines of hair while I talk about these books, but this has been fun. I liked it.